Alrighty, this is Deb Luttrell with Stitch in Heaven in Quitman, Texas.
Hi,
Population 1,809.
And growing.
And growing, yes. I am here at Quilt Market with Anna Marie. Now, Anna Marie is a designer for Free Spirit.
Yes, and have been.
For 15
years. As
and
2020.
Yes, 15 years.
Yep.
And so I walked by her booth and oh my gosh, you guys, this is just gorgeous. It's just this a splash of color doesn't even describe it.
Aww.
So I thought I would sit here for a minute and let's talk to Anna about your history and where you started. And
well, it's always been with Free Spirit from the beginning. 2005, Donna Wilder found me.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Where is
So
she now?
Donna's semi-retired, pretty close to retired, I would say. She's still in Connecticut. And yeah. But I talk to her from time to time still.
Still has her fingers in fabric though, probably.
Yeah, always,
Yeah,
definitely.
always.
Yeah, so Donna found me, so I was part of that kind of first group of designers with Amy Butler, which is like, you know, really great to be able to say that I came in when Free Spirit was a new thing, you know? So, I mean, they have been going for a few years, and she found me, and I've been with Free Spirit ever since, with our third owners now, as you know, at Free Spirit, and I'm still here. So
always fun. Change is fun.
Yeah, but Hindsight is the name of my anniversary collection, which I'm introducing here, which I thought was really nice, coming out in 2020.
Yes.
Because hindsight is
Hindsight.
right?
Oh,
So-
that's cute. Hindsight 2020.
But just like with life, you know, sometimes you like to look back and think about how you might do things differently. And even with my art and collections of fabric, every time I've just finished one, I always think, maybe I should have or could have done it this way. So instead of just doing a reprint line, which I've done before with popular fabrics, you know, I decided to do one that really celebrated my whole kind of timeline of fabric. So I looked way back at early collections, and so none of the prints are just what they were, but I've combined elements from different prints from different years and time periods and put them together in new ones. So it's like a reimagining of all my art. And it's interesting to look back at how I was designing when I first started and use some of those elements and kind of perfect them or change them. And
so would you describe your style as folkloric?
A bit, yeah. I definitely lean on folk. I'm half Greek. And so, yeah, my father immigrated from Greece in the 60s, and so I grew up around all sorts of handmade things and embroideries and wool loomed blankets, and so it definitely has an influence on my work. And I would say folkloric, but also just really inspired by nature. I never met a flower I didn't like.
Right. Lots of flowers in this collection.
Lots of flowers.
I noticed.
But I'm a very floral and naturalistic designer, but I use a pretty strong palette that's not too soft and naturey, you know, so there's kind of like a graphic balance to the natural sort of elements, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I noticed that you got beautiful quilts. Do you just design fabric, or do you also design the quilt design?
I'm designing the quilts as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm designing quilts. I have a line of sewing and patterns, a line of quilt. I started out as a clothing designer.
I was going to ask you that. What you
I started out as a
did
clothing
before.
designer. I just had my own line of clothing that my mother and I produced together out of a little shop called Handmaiden. And then I started getting more into product design, and that's how I started. So once I got into product design and then got asked to do fabric, it kind of came back to sewing again. So my first take on sewing in this industry was actually clothing, because of all the crafts that were present in my family growing up, quilting was not one of them.
Right.
I'm not someone that was raised with quilts or had them in my family. My grandma didn't quilt on either side of the family, so...
Me either.
Yeah,
Isn't that
interesting?
I have a friend who is from 7 generations of quilters.
Yeah, isn't
But
that
not
interesting?
me.
I feel like we're completing the family circle of craft, because now we're bringing quilts in,
Yeah.
you know? So it was only just a couple of years ago that I would really I've been doing this for 15 years. I would say maybe 5 years ago I actually started referring to myself as a quilter, because it's special. It's such a beautiful craft. And I started to make patchwork and learn and understand how to do it. But once I really kind of developed a perspective on how I make patchwork, I love applique and making images and
a
bold
quilt
designs.
fits everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's one size fits all.
It is.
So you don't have to worry about,
And
oh my
that's-
gosh, this is going to be too small, or
Yeah.
the
And I always
sleeves
thought,
are
what's
too
so
long.
hard about patchwork? It's just a shape with the seam allowance. But that's before I knew like all the beautiful traditions and all 5 different methods to do any one thing, and so it's just such a beautiful history that I'm really happy to be part of. But yeah, now that I am a quilter, it has really changed how I design fabric. you know, because before I was just designing for it to be beautiful, and I could have kind of understood there was a scale variety and a graphic variety that you should have in any one collection. But now when I'm designing a fabric, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing with it.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be cutting this into an applique. I know I'm going to be doing this in simple patches. And you know,
So you've grown there. You've grown in that way.
I think it's really enhanced how my fabrics are used.
And where are you from?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
someday you're going to have to come to Portland, Texas,
I would love to.
and see our new store.
And it'll be population 1810 on that day.
On that day. Exactly. Well,
I'd
hey,
love
you
to.
guys.
Thank you.
This is Deb Luttrell with Stitch in Heaven here with Anna Marie, and you will see this fabric in our store
And
in
maybe me.
2020.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
Take care.